What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today, man? What's up, man? What's up? What's up, Frontline? How you doing, brother? Anyway, let's get this episode started. Thank you for tuning in. Another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Round One. I was thinking about that one today. Yo, what's up? Saludo. Today, we're gonna be talking a little bit about boxing, a little film study here. I want to take a look, like you see at the title of the headline, jab for jab, uppercut. You know what I'm saying? The biggest hitters in the game and some of the biggest fights we have today. We have some of the biggest names in the game right now challenging each other in young Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis. You know, you hear the rumors circulating with Ryan Garcia and Connor Ben, if you're into that sort of thing. And there's a lot of other fights up and coming. You got David the Monster Benavidez, against Zuldo. Has David the Monster Benavidez bitten off more than he can chew? Things like that. I want to talk about some of the biggest guys and the heaviest hitters in the game today and who's doing it the best out of the guys that are boxing next. First up, I want to take a look at young Xander. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and like always, let's hop right into this episode. Hey, yo, real talk. This shit got me sideways. This shit is crazy, bro. Anyway, yo, yeah, I wanted to talk. What's up, Frontline? Yeah, I want you to come up here in a minute and two. I want you to take a look at some of the guys, some of the biggest guys, and anybody in the chat. If you want to look at one of the guys that are currently having a fight, that has a fight upcoming. You know what I mean? We want to take a look at some of the biggest names in the game right now. Even Usyk. Usyk. He's fighting. A lot of people said a lot about the guy that he's fighting. But young Xander, there was a lot said lately on social media about his fighting style. So to kick things off, I'm going to choose Xander. And you can pick whoever you want. You know what I mean? And let's see what the boxing world was talking about in Xander, the way he gets hit with shots, how he reacts, how he responds, and how he what he does in boxing situations. So like I said, we don't want to go back to Xander's like fights when he had braids on. You know what I mean? Because he's evolved as a fighter. You want to take a look at the fighters from basically their last fight. That should be your measuring stick, your standard. That's what he was last in the ring. That's what he looked like. Against who? Was he a southpaw? Was he an orthodox? Was he a world champion? All these things and all these factors have to be put into fights. Because as I show you tonight, I want to break down fights. All fights are not equal. What's up, Frontline? All fights are not equal,
What's
right?
happening?
What's up? And so we're going to take a little bit of film study because, sometimes I get tired of the fact that they're judging Jerron Boots Ennis and young Xander with like a fight with like Ryan and Connor Ben. And they're thinking that those are the same fights. No, different stars, yes. Different stars, yes. Not same quality in fighting whatsoever. And we here around One Sports Talk and my chat family, we know these things because we're educated boxing fans. So let's take a look at young Xander. And the only way I can get a measuring stick is to view how he did against his last opponent, which was Abbas Baru in Puerto Rico, which this fight was for unification for two belts. Both men came into this fight with a belt apiece. So if you ask me, it might not be the highest level champion you could fight, but a champion is the highest level. in comparison to fighting a guy with 2 belts or 3 belts. You understand? Okay, but nevertheless, world champion. So tonight, let's take a look at some of the best hitters in the game and the guys that are currently fighting. And since Xander Zayas is one of the biggest fights being talked about, let's start there. Okay, so we're gonna get down here. Shout out to Top Rank for having this video right here. Top Rank, I'm using this video to educate, and we, the fans, are going to look and take a look at Xander and how he fared against Abbas Baru to give us a measuring stick of how we think or what he's going to look like against Jaron Boots Ennis. And is there anything we should be worried about while taking a look at some of the highlights of in the fight with Abbas Baru and young Xander Zayas? This is Top Rank. I'm going to use your video for educational purposes. I hope you guys don't copyright me, but if you do, I understand. Okay, so here we go. This is the first round. Little jab.
Corral should be jabbing. Get yourself in some sort of rhythm, and instead he gets
nice little uppercut on the inside. See that? He slipped the punch. Ooh, nice slip.
But he's very, very well schooled in there.
Nice shot by Abbas Baru. Did you see that?
Stepped in with an excellent right hand.
Nice check hook. Good under the pressure. You see that shot? He called Xander with uppercut. Good foot. Look at his footwork.
Beautiful combination, Corey. My goodness.
Corral has been having some success here in round 5. Corral with shots like that.
Nice.
That's about the 5th right
Xander's keeping him back with that
here
jab. He's keeping him. He fights. He has a strong jab. Good angles. Good footwork. Look at Xander swing his back foot out. Abbas Baru is putting the pressure on him.
Begging for the exchanges. Another good right hand there.
Nice.
Look there from Zayas, gets his shots off.
Good movement. Both by both fighters. Nice check hook. Ooh, that one hurt Abbas. You know it did. Good uppercut. Frame off. He's by Abbas on the inside. See that? Ooh, and it's in there.
And the crowd coming alive. The combinations from Zayas are flying.
You forget how much of a good fight this was. Nice, good exchange. Damn, Abbas Baru, bro. He's a warrior, bro. He's fighting on fumes, it looked like right there at the closing of that round. He took a little damage. Good defense. Nice uppercut on him.
Letting his hands fly with whatever he's got left. Back comes Zayas.
Men slugging it out. Look at this. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Man, listen, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this and what we saw. Look, I saw several things here with Xander, right? First of all, he knows how to deal with pressure. Abbas Baru is putting a lot of pressure on him. I'm not sure if Jaron Boots Ennis can put that kind of pressure, but he has a different kind of pressure, and we'll talk about that, right? But I also see that Xander can take a shot. He can give a shot of his own. And he knows how to deal with crafty fighters. Guys that sneak shots in, the punches you don't see. As you could see in that video right there, he surprised Xander with a few shots of his own. Abbas Baru. And it really speaks to the type of pedigree Abbas Baru is. He was a real road warrior. That man went on the road like his last, 3 fights? He won the belt on the road and other dudes' backyards. He had no problem coming out to Puerto Rico. The crowd didn't affect him. Nothing. He was used to that. He was used to being booed or whatever. And Puerto Rico, they graciously, because, the island is like that. Even when Liam Paro beat Subriel Matias, they still cheered. It wasn't like an uproar, but they gave him his respect. You feel me? So it was he was there to win. So I saw that in that video, Xander definitely like didn't melt under the pressure. You see, the difference between Jerron Boots Ennis, and we're gonna take a look at his last fight. Well, we can't. Actually, we can't. That's just like fucking a minute and what, 30 seconds? And that wouldn't be right. What we learned from that? The guy that he fought last, Jerron Boots Ennis, barely put up any resistance. The first big shot he got clipped with, he went down. I'm not sure if he was, on that ever fought a guy like Jerron Boots Ennis or that can crack remotely like him. But I don't really see Jerron Boots Ennis as like this great knockout artist in the sense when it comes to like top tier competition. Look, Avanesian, he got him out of there, right? Okay. Karen is the ones that he gets his most criticism for, right? But I gotta be honest with you guys. Fighting it's so how can I say this? Fighting is it's like every sport, but you have to have your head in the game, really in the game. And some of these fighters start to make this transition from their taxes and their taxes, meaning they start to make more money. And there's a point where you come from, fairly good upbringings, I would say, Jerron Boots Ennis, but he's starting to reach another level. So he's starting to embark in a place where a lot of fighters eventually get to, right? Where they start to buy some shit. And they got to move stuff around in their life. They got to learn some things, experience some things. And I think during those fights, Jerron Boots Ennis went through a big change, don't you say? You can see it and the amount of fights he was having it. All of a sudden, the change started coming out. He started talking a bit more. You saw different things. So it was like, I'm not going to sit here and make up an excuse for Jerron Boots Ennis, right? But I think that with this lifestyle comes a lot of distractions. I could at least say that. He looked like a distracted fighter, and this could be the fight that Jerron Boots Ennis proves to the world, who he is. What he needed was a big fight. Unfortunately, a lot of spectators and hardcores are going to turn around and notice the elephant in the room. That if you need a 23-year-old Puerto Rican unified champion to solidify your name, what have you been doing for the last 35 fights? What have you been doing? It's always going to bring up the conversation and somebody's going to always look back and say, in fact, how did you get your belts? They gave you one, right? And then you fought a champion for the other one that just newly crowned got champion status, right? That never defended it. And he fought you, right? And then you move up to the second weight. It's like the conversation. So it's always going to come back down to Xander. It's going to come down to Xander. You mean Jerron Boots Ennis, your career is basically based on this fight. If Jerron Boots Ennis loses this fight, what happens? The boogeyman facade, all that shit is gone. Gone like the wind. What they gonna say? Because he let it get here. Might be unfortunate events. Jerron Boots Ennis has had a rocky career, to say the least. He's been in and out of court behind promoters. He wasn't treated right. He wasn't promoted right. The first half of his career basically stalled out. He signed with the wrong person. It happens. But, but we need to take a look at Jerron Boots Ennis. We need to take a look at some of the things that I would make him special. So, Frontline, can you do me a favor while I look up Jerron Boots Ennis? Can you
I
read?
got you. Mr. Itachi in the building
Oh,
says hit the like button. I'm just tinted. What's up, round one? Who else? Jamar. He says the disrespect to Xander from Boots fans is ridiculous and funny at the same time. They're haters. Mr. Itachi says, can he do that with the towering inferno?
mm,
George in the building. He says, frontline round one chat.
salute. Yo, okay. Now, this is probably not going to be fair because what's going to end up happening here is I don't got, I'm not going to like play his last fight. So obviously I'm going to have to play. Well, right now I'm choosing.
Play a second as last fight. I know it was at 47, but you're still gonna see rhythm. You're still gonna see movement. You're
Well,
still
what
gonna
I'm
see.
choosing, yeah, what I'm, let me see here. Let me see if I can get it. Here, why don't we bring it to about, let me see. This is buffer right now.
We got Takeover Thursdays in the building. He says, I think Eddie Hearn is chasing him out. Koki in the building. He said, that's a great point, Edwin. If Ennis loses, it'll be hard for him to recover compared to Zayas.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mexico boxing number one in the building. Says Junto is trash. Logan beat him. What about Cordova? What about El Gallo? Are they trash?
Oh, no. Come on. Why you got to bring that up?
Yeah,
Anyway,
because
listen. It's still
Cordova
early in the
needs
show.
Mexico boxing. Cordova needs a shoulder right now.
Yo, listen,
You
man,
want to
yo,
lend him a shoulder?
Frontline. Anyway, let's move on to some real boxing. Mm. Wow.
What happened? You choking him? Richard in the building. Saludos, caballero. Where'd the Edwin go? You choking over there? Yo, Edwin, blink twice if
Damn,
you
I
in
couldn't get
trouble.
that burp out. I could not get that shit out, bro. I was fucking choking here, bro. That shit went down the wrong pipe. You saw that shit? Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yo, you almost
Miss,
lost round one, bro. I almost died.
nah, you good. You from the trenches. You ain't going nowhere. Mr.
Yo, check it
Tachi
out.
said facts. Logan robbed. Logan got robbed. Mr. He says if the
Well, yeah.
monster was really like that, he would fight Logan.
But what has Logan? Who has Logan beaten to deserve a fight with him? But
Okay,
anyway,
here we
we'll
go.
talk about that in a second. Check it out. Here's Jerron Boots Ennis. I don't really know what's on here. Shout out to whoever that is in the corner right there. We're gonna be using Jerron Boots Ennis to a little film study to see what makes Jerron Boots Ennis so special in the eyes of many. Let's see Jerron Boots Ennis boots in action. Here we go. Well, he is fast, man. He is fast. He's fighting comfortable right now.
A little sloppy though.
Yeah, a little slow. Yeah, yeah, I seen that. But you see how he moves his hands around, but he got good foot speed. See, you can get away with shit like that with these guys on
But
this
this guy's
level.
not punching back.
No,
That's
no,
one
no, at
problem I
all. You can
see.
see that. You can see that. Like this is not Xander standing in front of him, right? Like
Right.
this guy, his feet, his footwork's not like Xander's. Nothing, but
You see, like
If
you saw how he just posed for a picture real quick when he
Yep.
missed with that left. You think Xander's just gonna sit there and look at him while he poses? No. This is what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, like yo, Styles makes fights. Captain Howdy says a lot of people are painting Fundura as the true boogeyman at 54, but he has not
Oh,
beat
whoa.
anyone special yet.
He hasn't beat anybody. Did you guys see that uppercut right there?
Yes, we did.
Look. If you're just standing in front of Jerron Butenis and you're standing in a high guard and he sees you giving him a little to no resistance, he's gonna pick you apart. He's definitely going to pick you apart. And as we can see with this guy right here, Jerron Boots Ennis showed a lot of skills, though. He showed that he can jab. He showed that he had footwork. He showed that he can cut angles. He showed that he can work off the jab. He can box off the back foot. He showed that he's snappy with his punches on the inside. He hit the guy with an uppercut, dropped him. He also hit the guy with a body shot and dropped him. Jerron Boots Ennis showed a lot right there. He showed a lot in his ability, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. You want to, okay, I'm grading him. Yes, I am grading him. And I'm not going to freaking sit here and tell you that the guy that he was fighting was like a top tier dude. No. The guy looked timid a little. He kind of looked like he was scared of Jerron Boots Ennis, and Jerron Boots Ennis was keying off. But you get to see the best of them when in situations like that. That's when you saw like the greats, Floyd and all them. You pack those dudes up. What he did, Floyd Mayweather did to Arturo Gotti, that was a massacre, but a brilliant performance. You understand? You have to see the beauty in the violence. You understand? So I like that about Jerron Boots Ennis because he revealed a lot to remind us of the athleticism ability that Jerron Boots Ennis does possess. Now, he did knock out his last opponent at 154. Lima, I really didn't know anything about him. I misspoke one time on his name. And Lima, listen, I love you. You're a boxer, you're a warrior, and I don't take anything from you. But there's levels to this. There's levels to this. And Jerron Boots Ennis, when it came in with the fight with Lima there, Jerron Boots Ennis was on a different level. He caught him with flush shots early in the fight and he put him away. In this game, they don't pay you for overtime. So Jerron Boots Ennis got in there, did what he needed to do, and got out safety. No scratches, no nothing. Ready for the next fight. That's how you do it. You don't want to get in there like Conor Benn did. Smashed his face all over Regis Progress's forehead. How do you smash your face on a guy that's standing still? All he's doing is one move when you throw a punch and he goes forward like this. Basic shit. Basic stuff. And then my boy was telling me, yo, Edwin, but you got to understand that when you're out there on the outside and you're moving like this, you're finding angles to go in. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Had Conor Benn did that, I would have gave him credit. But he did this, then stood still and then went forward like that. I was like, it's not like he was out there like this, right? And he was, warming himself up, preparing, and then working his way inside, pop, pop, and then working, boom. No, he did it a couple times, but he would forget quick, real quick. Like, you could see he needs work, Connor. He needs work. Great fighter though. I would say good. I would say good, not great. I would say good. Because if you put Conor Benn in with the right guy, you're gonna see an amazing fight. That's the thing. He's gonna put on a show on his level. I'm not sure about this Ryan shit. We could talk about it if you want, but see, Jerron Boots Ennis right now, right? Malasa said it right too. He said he confirmed what I said. That if Jerron Boots Ennis loses this fight to Xander Zayas,
No, that was Coqui, not Melasa Coqui.
oh, I'm sorry, Koki. If he loses this fight to Xander, Yo, okay. Which way are we gonna go with this, guys? Let's, let's talk a little bit of hypotheticals. Which way are we gonna go with this? Oh,
Hypothetically,
look at no. Look at the headline. Check it out, right? Let me give you the headline. Jerron Boots Ennis lost to a 23-year-old guy. Jerron Boots Ennis loses world unification fight and new weight division. Does he get a title fight after that? They asked Jerron Boots Ennis, is there
I
if
see a different title.
a different title?
Oh yeah, I see a different title.
Where you would you think that off of a loss, Sebastian Fedora is gonna fight Jerron Boots Ennis? You're crazy.
No, no, I'm saying I see the headlines. I see a different headline.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll give you mine. I gave you mine. Tell me yours.
Was Boots really that guy?
Was he overrated? There's another one. Come on. You see these headlines? I can't
Exactly.
think of them all, but I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, there's gonna be a shitload of them.
In this kind of case scenario, hypothetically, I don't wish him to lose, right? What I'm saying is, if that happens, versus Xander loses, he's all of 23 years old. He's already been a unified world champion. You can't take that away from him.
Nope.
He starts in a new weight division 160, and let's start the race. The race
Run
begins.
from there. Yeah.
Yeah, because let
Hey,
me tell you, even if he was to unify another belt or get all four belts when he goes up to 160, he has to start over anyway to get those next belts anyway.
yeah, but he can get a special, like, you know what I'm saying? If he stays unified and then he moves up,
No,
he
no,
can
no.
petition to fight the belt holder from the
Yes, of course.
WBO or the
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
WBA.
yeah. That meaning no, now you got privileges. If
Yeah.
he's the victor, if he was to fall on top in this fight right here, right? Not only would he have the right to challenge the above champion in the next weight, but he'll also get Jerron Boots Ennis' scalp. That's a big name. That's a good scalp on your resume.
Yeah, it is.
You mean to tell me that you beat arguably the boogeyman, the best 154-pound coming into the fight? Xander's the underdog.
Yeah.
Jerron Boots Ennis is the favorite.
I
That's
don't
why
think
a
the
lot of
odds I don't
yeah, the
think the odds are
odds.
out yet. Are they out
No,
yet? Nah,
and
it's too soon,
uh,
right?
yeah,
Let me ask you something, Edwin. I was thinking about this earlier today. I meant to tell you about it when I called you. Do you do you think magically Ennis pulls out or Zayas pulls out due to a quote unquote injury or something?
all right. First of all, I don't want to hear that kind of talk. That's crazy talk, right?
No,
Okay,
I'm
we're,
just
we're
I
not
was
gonna
thinking
we're not
about it
gonna jinx this
because
fight. But okay, look, shit happens. Okay, but if you're asking me, if your real question, if you're asking me, is this is say with your chest, right? If you think somebody's gonna kick open Xander Zayas' hotel room and take the pages out of his passport and they're gonna plant drugs on him, or that he's gonna get sick mysteriously, or that it's gonna be one of those kind of scenarios that somebody pulls out of this fight, I don't see that by either side. If in fact something was to occur, I think it would be a legitimate injury. You're dealing with a driven young man, eager to prove to the world that he's him, Xander. And you're dealing with another beast entirely, where Father Time is not on his side, and his time is now. His city of Philly needs a champion, and he's trying to prove he's him. When you're talking up your name next to the stars like Terrence Crawford, you better show up and show out. You better not fall on your face. Both of these men got equal pressure, but I think the more of the pressure is on Jerron Boots Ennis. Why? He's expected to win. He's expected to win so much that in the ranking system they have him number one. That's why I can honestly tell you, I know he's gonna be the favorite in the fight. Why? Look at your clues. How is the number one guy above all champions not going to be the favorite if they're telling you that? What are the consensus saying about this fight? Xander bit off more than he can chew. When in fact, Xander's the one that said, I want the fight. Lo and behold, it all came out at the press conference. And Xander made sure that Boots acknowledged that. And Boots, like a straight city kid, hustler, trying to hustle Xander into taking a 55-45 split. And then there's actually people coming out on social media making videos about this, about this split and that Xander didn't take it, right? And that it proves that he's scared of Jerron Boots Ennis. How ridiculous. How ridiculous. Do you go in there to negotiate or do you go in there to make a deal? When you make a deal, do you let the other guy talk you in or tell you what to do? As a man or as a businessman? Who are you to dictate what I should take in my fight? And why is it that the dollar amount should be measured by whether or not I'm scared of you? Or I should have took the bet if I believe in myself. What kind of l- phony baloney shit kind of shit is that? Sounds
I
like you're
think
trying
that
to hustle me.
Xander had more power to get more. He could have had a
Look,
55-45 on his favor or
look,
60-40.
of course he did. He did. He had the two belts. He could have did that. But to make the fight the fastest,
Yeah,
Xander
50-50.
said, listen, there's no more even than 50-50. You get 50, I get 50. Right down the middle. How could any of us be mad? Right?
Well,
I don't
it's
want to
not
hear,
50-50 because he's also giving up 2 titles.
okay, yes, I understand that. But listen, that you gotta from the people reporting that Xander was scared of Jerron Boots Ennis, right?
Cap.
And that
Yeah.
all of a sudden that Jerron Boots Ennis, if he believed in himself so much, see, what that does is whenever I hear a man do that, I see he's trying to take the eyes away from the truth. He's trying to divert you from the fact and say and convince you that he's not confident in himself. And the answer is right in front of you. How the fuck is that guy not confident when he's the one that made the fight? Not you, not your promoter, nothing. They called you and said, yup, we heard you guys want to fight us. We'll take it. Matter of fact, 50-50. And the fight, and you agreed to it on stage and said, yo, you could have fought anyone else. You could have fought anybody else, but you chose to fight me. He says, I didn't have to fight you. I chose to fight you. And Jerron Boots Ennis said, yes. In order to get the viewer and the boxing fans to forget about that, he made up a story of how he won't take 55-45 to make it seem like Xander was scared. But if you just rewind the tape 10 seconds, you got your answer. The only reason why we're here is because of Xander. How is that guy scared of you? Or is not confident in his ability? He made the fight happen. See, those are ploys. You got to read through this shit. Then Jerron Boots Ennis, since he couldn't get him to get the 55-45, he's still trying to get money on the back end. Then he starts bringing up wagers. Yo, you want to put some money on this? If you believe in yourself so much, let's put some money on this. Remember when Biha fought Jose Valenzuela, and Biha went all over with his little painted hair, and he started threatening Jose Valenzuela, and he told Jose Valenzuela, let's put 50 G's on this. 50 G's that'll knock you out, because Jose Valenzuela felt like he lost the first fight. I mean, Jose Valenzuela felt like he won the first fight, and they gave it to Chris Colbert and Biha, right? So, and Chris Colbert lost that first fight, hands down. Jose Valenzuela whooped his ass. He dropped him twice in a fight, and they gave it to him. So they ran it back. But I said all of this because what happened on stage. Bia started showing his ass, trying to be a tough guy and boost up his own confidence, and started saying, "Let's do a wager." Oh, see, if you don't want to take the wager, that sounds like Jerron Boots Ennis is not confident in himself, and he needs to get himself motivated. He needs to put more at stake for the fight can get bigger for him or something. Because when Bia did that, he got knocked the fuck out. And then you know what Jose Valenzuela did? A real fucking sportsman, and he don't give a fuck about that shit. Yo, he grabbed him. Go look at the footage. He was like, "You don't have to give me the money." And then, like a real fucking lowlife, Bihar gets out the ring and says, "I wasn't gonna pay him anyway." Like real low class. Like, man, like some people would have made you pay that money. You know, you want to start bringing up this shit. So that don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
That Jerron Boots Ennis said that to Xander. What the fuck does that got to do with a fight? We made our deal. We made our agreement. What the fuck are you? You're not happy? If you
I
weren't
did like
happy,
I
wait,
did
wait,
like
wait, wait, wait.
Xander's response.
Yeah, yeah. Look, if you weren't happy with the agreement that we made, then why are we here on this podium? We should have worked that out back there in the back rooms with the suits and ties. If you weren't happy with your cut, why is it that we get to the press conference and you start talking about the dollar amount? What's wrong now? You know what's wrong? You might be scared. You might have bit off more than you can chew. And you might want to try to fool the people because I'm starting to view it like maybe you know when guys want to sell the fight or something, they want to show real anger and aggression. What do you typically say? I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna fuck you. You can't fuck with me. Yo, my jab is too good. I'm just gonna get on the inside. I'm gonna knock you out. He ain't talk nothing about boxing. He talk about business, money, and wagers. He started saying, "Oh, you know I'm the truth." Bro, I was like,
Zaya
so
said it real calm too. You take care of your family. I can
I'm
take
gonna
care of
take care of
mine.
mine.
That's it. We don't have to bet nothing extra.
What
It's
what what
that's it.
what does money got to do with the fact that I requested to fight you? Like I said, were you not happy with the agreement? All of a sudden, you got to come out here and start saying, if you were so confident in yourself, you would have made it this way. Like, dude, like, yo, shut your mouth first of all, and be thankful I gave you a shot at these belts. You
Hey,
need to
take
be
over.
thanking me.
Facts.
You need to
Takeover's
be
got a point.
thanking me because without me, who else gives you a shot at two belts? Or you got to go fight Sebastian Fundora because Ed Hearn ain't putting you against Josh Kelly. That's your only option. So rather than being thankful, they spit it back in your face.
Yeah.
They spit it back in your face and they try to dress it up on some other bullshit that, bro, the first 3 minutes of the press conference, we got our answer. How did this fight happen and why? We wanted to know, yo, Xander, is it true? Top Rank, did they set you up? Did you have to fight Jerron Boots Ennis to get that DAZN deal? Did you? The world wanted to know. Right? Yo, the first 3 minutes, I got my answer. I was like, boom. We here because of Xander. Facts. And why? Because Jerron Boots Ennis stamped it himself.
The
He
only
said,
changes that was made, was the location because he
yeah.
already had the 27th booked. Now, according to Boots, he tried to throw a little snake shit in the press conference. I know you caught on to it. He wanted to fight, excuse me, June 6th or June 7th, something like that.
Oh, yeah,
And then
because
he
he
tried
was
to say, "Oh,
trying to accuse him of being fat or whatever.
yeah, you need a couple more weeks." He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
Xander's like,
Trying to
"No."
get in his head.
Exactly. And I'm glad Xander responded the way he did. But Takeover's got a point. He says Eddie's guy is Josh Kelly. Took the tougher fight, meaning Bakram, while Boots was hiding. He could have had a belt if he was like that.
He could have
Cat,
fought Bakram. Why doesn't
yeah.
anybody talk about that? He could have
Um,
fought Bakram, but he had let Josh Kelly fight him.
he let yep. Well, I think the original plan was to go after Zayas anyway because the media, the fucking
No,
YouTube
no,
boxing
no,
people, they
no,
got they
no. You
got
can't. You
Zayas
can't say
as the
that.
weakest link.
No, yeah,
Yes.
but you can't say that because at that point in time, Zayas did not have two belts. Zayas only had one belt at that time. At that point in
Yeah,
time,
but when he
when
became
when no, I'm
champion,
talking about when you see when you're talking about these situations, you got to put the right time frame.
no.
Um,
I understand it, but when he beat Chino Perez and
yeah,
he became the WB, what was it, DO? No,
WBO.
WBO or WBA.
No, it was the WBO. The
The boss
Asbaru
had
got
the
the
WBA.
WBA,
Okay,
and when
when
he
he
was
fought for the
elevated,
when he fought for the WBO, as soon as he became champion, when he beat Chino Perez,
yeah.
that's where the narratives started to come out that
No,
Xander's the
no,
weakest link.
no, no,
No,
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
about him
no,
being the
no,
weakest champion.
no. Oh yes, 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 yes. That one.
Yes, that
Okay,
narrative, not
okay.
the other
That one.
narrative.
I
Yeah,
would
that
agree
one.
with that. I would agree with that. But the narrative that he was the weakest and the unified when that Devin Haney tweeted out that text and
Under his
said,
food.
no, he said, oh, Xander got two belts? Like, question. And then everybody took it like he's food. Then all of a sudden, the name started flowing in. But that's expected. Any champion, once you cross that line and you thought you was a big boy and you got your big boy pants on and you decided to go get a world championship, everybody's coming after you. That's just expected. Xander was now a young, unified, and he had a target on his back. And when everybody started making these things like my boy Bam Bam Boogie, right? He was like upset because he took it personal. Bam Bam's like, yo, round one. I was like, what's up? He's like, yo, it feels like everybody's attacking both equal fighters. And like, oh yeah, I was like, nah, brother. That's what comes with the fame and popularity in boxing. That's what comes with it. The better you get, the more belts you get, the more people are gonna come after you.
Hey, when
The
you was
more you're
playing,
gonna be talked about. You know, that comes with it, man. You
yeah,
could
when you
be the
was playing
greatest
the,
fighters in the world. You could be the greatest fighter in the world. They're gonna talk trash. They talk shit about Floyd. They talk shit about Naoya Inoue. They talk shit about Saul. They all the greats. Everybody in our era and before our era. That's just the responsibility of the champion. You got to take that in stride, baby. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck what they
yeah,
said. Let's
when
get
you
it
was
popping. You
playing the
know.
Boots highlights,
Yes.
Captain Howdy replied. He says Xander can counteract his speed with counter punching. Miss,
And the thing, yep. Thank you. Great point. The thing is, too, when you saw Jerron Boots Ennis showboating in front of that guy, why? He already read that guy. He knows that he was faster than him. The guy wasn't fast himself. The guy was a little timid. He can read the guy. He's the closest person to the fighter. He can read what kind of level he was on. So when Xander was doing all that shit like that, he's not gonna do that with Xander. Don't think that Jerron, and he would never try that
I think he'll be more
because
reserved.
yes, you're gonna see a different fighter out of Jerron Boots Ennis, but I think we're gonna get a dangerous version of Jerron Boots Ennis. Jerron Boots Ennis hears, you know, the noise. And although that I'm Puerto Rican and I want Xander to win this fight, I try to be as unbiased as I can. And I got to give you both sides. I got to give you Jerron Boots Ennis, the American fighter, Philly fighter. Philly, has a rich history of boxing, but that's not going to win you the fight. Hard work and dedication is what's going to win this fight. And the man that's willing to leave it all in the ring on that night, that's who's going to win this fight. I think that these men are going to learn a lot about themselves inside of this fight. I think Jerron Butsen he's even been rumored or heard that Andrew Ward was seen coming out of his gym or whatever. But, unless I see Andrew Ward actually working with Jerron Butsen, we got to remember Andrew Ward nowadays is a podcaster. and he likes to get interviews nowadays. That's what he does with his time now. So he like when they tell me that he's coming out of a gym, I'm not sure if he was going there to work with the guys or interview the guys. You understand? So, until I see that. Uh so like look, Jerron Boots Ennis knows what this is. He could play it off and say all the right things to sell the fight. You're not on my level. All boxing shit. I love that shit. Talk your shit, Jerron Boots Ennis, and keep talking it. Keep talking about how you're gonna beat Xander because it's gonna bring more to the fight. It's gonna bring more value. So on the night when you fall, I hope Xander gets full credit. But same thing goes for Xander. On the night, if he is shall to fall, may they give you the respect you deserve because Xander is a unified world champion. Okay, so look, I think that Jerron Boots Ennis is going to come in here well prepared, well trained. I think that Jerron Boots Ennis is going to one or two things might happen. Either he implements his game plan and it's working, or Xander clips him real good, and Jerron Boots Ennis tries to divert right back to the old fighter. It didn't seem like he liked to get hit in the Karen fight. It took him a little bit to like warm up and find an angle back in. And he looked a little off. I'm not saying that that would happen because I think he's going to be in the best shape of his life for this fight. So, it's interesting, but I really believe that he won't do all that flashy shit. And if he does, it's just going to prove to the point that he was that much better than Xander Zayas. I'm prepared to see a lot of things here. As I told you here around round one sports talk, I try to take my heart out of these fights. And I tell my Boricua friends to try to do the same. Don't go full fledged into this. It can affect you as a person. I've taken fights and losses and I've cried after some because I was too invested. You got to pull yourself back a little bit in the thing of telling yourself, um, telling yourself, nah, in every day you try to convince yourself Xander's gonna beat him, Xander's gonna beat him. You convince yourself enough, and he loses, it's gonna hurt. You gotta give yourself room as a fan too to rebound. Allow the man
What do
to
you think about
grow.
this statement, Edwin?
Yep.
Mio Pera says that Baru guy is more boxer than Ennis and way more pressure fighter too. You will see.
The Baru guy, look it. The Baru guy was better on counters than Ennis. Ennis got good counters, but they're far in between, right? There was a lot of windows that in some of Ennis's fights, Abbas Baru would have capitalized. Here's the problem though. Where Abbas Baru lacks is the speed and the footwork, right? Which Jerron Booth and athletic ability. Baras Baru is basically the type of guy that puts his hands up in the high guard and he tries to drown the guy. He shifts it to like second gear and he makes you think that he's actually like fighting you for the first 6 rounds. Then after that, he turns it into another gear and he starts to drown the guy. The problem with that style is that he was working off, that pace. He was working on that pace. Jerron Boots Ennis can turn it up, turn it down. He can try to control the fight. He can fight from the outside. It's going to be a different fight than Abbas Baru. Although I think Abbas Baru would actually give Jerron Boots Ennis problems, I actually think he would. I think Jerron Boots Ennis eventually beats him, Abbas Baru. Now, but Abbas Baru is probably better. He's probably a better boxer. He knows more about boxing than any of Jerron Boots and his opponents. I really think that Abbas Baru is if you put Karen in with Abbas beats him. You put um well, David Ananez, okay. Jerron Boots Ennis can have that one, right? Because that fight with Jerron Boots Ennis, Jerron made it look a little bit worse. And you really saw the talent of Jerron Boots Ennis in the David Amarinian fight. Um, he made that man look slow. He did, and he's not that slow. He's really not. But that's where like I look at some of Jerron Boots Ennis' fights and the things he was doing. One of the things I've always said, these are certain things you don't want to see happening in the ring if you're fighting this kind of fighter, like Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez starts doing that Fortnite dance in front of you, you're screwed. He figured you out. He's having fun. He's styling on you. Same thing with Jerron Boots Ennis. If Jerron Boots Ennis starts dropping his hands and going like this and flowing like that and just hitting Xander with one hand shots like pop and spinning out and making Xander look, slow and, shit like that, and you're going to get your answer. Now, can he sustain it throughout the courses of the fights? We've seen these flashy type fighters outboxing what we consider the better boxer, Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad, right? And Oscar De La Hoya was boxing the shit out of Felix. Felix won like one or the two of them early rounds and lost the middle part of that fight all the way down. Oscar just couldn't sustain it, I guess. He said, "Oh, I thought I had the fight in the bag, so I didn't think I had to do much. I knew I had 7 rounds in the bag." No, no, that's just an excuse, Oscar. I don't think you could have sustained it. I think that he diverted all the rest of his energy to his legs and decided to coast in the fight. That's your mistake. So Jerron Boots Ennis can start off fast in this fight. He can get a big lead. And then all of a sudden, we're going in the 12th round and we're sitting there saying, this could be anybody's fight. Case in point, Teofimo Lopez versus Loma. Teo arguably won the first 6 of those rounds. Loma basically gave him the first 5, 6 rounds. Then all of a sudden, going into the 12th round, we're saying, I don't know who's winning this fight. We've seen fights like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Richard wants to know if it's Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis. Who you like?
Boots. Boots. I'll take
Ma-
Boots against Virgil all day. Virgil has a great style. He can definitely hurt Boots. The problem is you got to catch up to Boots. I think that Boots is um, smart enough as a fighter, and he's a strong fighter. Boots has been criticized for being hit inside a fight, but damn it, if you're not in a fight, right, you're gonna get hit, right? Come on, we can't be that critical on fighters. Like, go in there and don't get hit at all on some Superman shit. Like, no, you know, and Boots is an aggressive fighter. He can be aggressive at times and he'll walk you down. He will walk you down. And I just think that Virgil, although he's good, uh, it takes him a little bit of time to warm up. Virgil, I've seen him come out strong, but when he like clips the guy fast, or like he was like the guy he was fighting was like real low level. The Lubin fight, okay, he caught him early. Uh, I think Lubin was trying to be more relaxed than he should have, and he got caught with a big punch. But nah, I got Jerron Boots Ennis in that fight. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason says if Xander, saludo, Jason. If Xander beats Boots, that will be great. And if Xander, if I guess he says if I was Xander, I will give Boots credit, but I'm still gonna talk shit about him.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean that's all.
Gayoto.
That's all in the game. Go ahead, finish.
Gayoto said things keep getting worse for round one. Bam's team said The Inoue fight isn't happening. So who is he fighting after Junto? Question. Goodman? Question. Nishida? Question. Horrific.
Stop right there. Okay. If you're gonna come up here, right? If you're gonna come up here, at least tell the truth, right? And apparently you don't come up here and watch the show enough, right?
So you're
Because
saying he almost said something?
he almost said something, almost, right? Because he would know, like all my other fans and everybody that come watch me, that know that I'm the one that's saying that I don't want that Bam Rodriguez versus Naoya Inoue fight because he's 2 weight divisions down. And if you have to blimp up the Mexican guy and Naoya Inoue was to beat him, I wouldn't give him credit for that because I would want it to be on a more playing field. Not everybody is Terrence Crawford. You just because one man did that, that's 1% of mankind on the planet that did that. And what you're expecting Bam to do it, I don't think it's fair. I don't think you're giving the Mexican guy his fair shake. And you're gonna bring him up there and he's blimp him up for that. Now, anyway, can use him as target practice when we know that Bam Rodriguez is the shit. And if Naoya Inoue in a good world was to shrink down and a little bit, and Bam was to just move up 1 weight division, we got ourselves a fight. So how's it looking bad for me when I was never promoting that fight? I was never saying Bam Rodriguez and Naoya Inoue. You know, I talked about it because it was asked of me from a few of my fans back in the day. I made a couple videos back then just answering some people, but I really don't. I told my real opinion on the fight. I don't want it. And Naoya Inoue, about your little comment about who's going to fight next, Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman doesn't even fight in Naoya Inoue's weight division, so get your facts right. He fights at 126, which he lost to Nick Ball. So just keep up with the sport. And as far as your other comments about his opponents trying to say that what? Naoya Inoue's trash for what? Wiping down the division? Because of the fact that he kicked open the door and challenged the toughest guy first, the strongest champion, the unified world champion, undefeated on the pound for pound list. He just went backwards in the division. He's running out of people, and you criticize him because he has 8 professional fights there, and he's coming up on the 7th title defense on all 4 belts. He's the only man in boxing history to ever do that. Because not no man in the world just wants to give you an opportunity at 4 belts. Your great Terrence Crawford never did that. You know why? Because Terrence Crawford don't believe in that shit. Terrence Crawford believes go get him one at a time like I did. Why should I give you a shot at 4 belts on one night? Not every man's going to do that. But apparently the Japanese dude is saying it doesn't matter if I had 1 belt or 4. No one's beating me. So when you come up here, please get your facts right if you're going to make a funny punchline statement.
Sir Biz is in the building. He says, for me, it will be a close fight if it goes to decision. Captain Howdy says, when you have great hand speed, you don't need great power. The punch you don't see will hurt you the most. Kyoto says, so we agree. Anyways, ducking featherweight. LOL. I don't want him to fight Bam either, but Robert Garcia is giving Inoue fans excuses to push this ducking. Goodman fought at 122 in March. Laugh my ass off. And
Sam
Captain
Goodman
Howdy says
with the ring
Inoue's a
number
beast.
92. What was he? No, I actually
What
think he was.
wasn't Goodman in protective custody for a while?
Yeah, Sam Goodman's been running from Naoya Inoue so much that he ran up there to fight Nick Ball first and actually almost won that fucking fight, right? But Sam Goodman, he's trash, right? He's so scared. Like, he was the number 1 for the WBO and the IBF. And this motherfucker didn't cut his eye once, but twice. And you know what gave it away? What was the worstest thing for Sam Goodman? You know what made him look so bad? If you go back and you watch the video where he's sparring and the guy hits him, pow, right? And then he looks up and Sam Goodman shows that he has a cut. It's a little blood. The problem is you got a headgear with the bitch bar on. He had the headgear with the safety bar that prevents that from happening. So when the guy hit him, pow, and he went and took off. I was like, how the fuck did he cut your eye? What did he go through the safety bar? Because that shit is made out of like this hard ass like plastic metal shit. It has like a plastic and then like a metal like light thing so that you don't break your nose or cut your eyes. He literally had that headgear on. That headgear that he had on, that shit was like $450, $500. The headgear he had on to prevent that. Yo, I looked at that shit. I was like,
So,
man,
so what you saying that he went into the locker room and banged his eye
he
against the
smashed
wall?
his face on something, came out, put the headgear on, took a jab, and was like, oh shit, I got cut. That shit was pathetic. I was like, man, yo, Naoya Inoue just wiping these dudes out, man. Now, check this out, right? For all that guy said, right? Oh, so we agree he's ducking something, right? You could tell he's just a cheerleader, right? Because he's not respecting the fact that as Naoya Inoue starts to age in his career and he's accomplished so much, rather than his opponents start going down in competition like his favorite fighter, Naoya Inoue is choosing to fight the next hot, shiny thing, an undefeated 3 division world champion, Junto Nakatani, which most people think would beat Bam Rodriguez. Junto. They say that Junto's too big for Bam. And this guy's gonna try to act like he said something and like threatening that Naoya Inoue is ducking this dude. When the guy that he's actually fighting is revered better than Bam. The more dangerous fight, the taller of the fighters, the longer, the harder. They saying punching power, Junto. Junto got knockout of the year honors. Did Bam get knockout of the year? Just wondering. Right? Just wondering. Maybe he did.
I think he did with Sonny Edwards.
I don't think that was good enough. I think it was like maybe in the running or something. I don't think it won knockout of the year, that knockout. Nah. Because Junto laid out Andrew Maloney and it looked like his skeleton jumped right out of his body and ran out the ring. That knockout was brutal. Yeah. So like Naoya Inoue, as far as his competition, when's the last time Bam Bam Rodriguez fought a 3 division world champion for 4 belts on the line? I'll wait. Just as a measuring stick. When you're talking about Naoya Inoue, who are you comparing him to?
Well, Bam has never become undisputed.
Okay, then. If they were so good and so much better than Naoya Inoue, ain't they in the same weight divisions he was in? He just went through all those weight divisions. So if it's so easy to do, why can't you guys do it? I'll wait. Naoya
Maybe
Inoue did it. He went through everybody. He walked through everybody. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's not easy to do. And them dudes is all fucking assassins down there. They're all savages in that bantamweight division. You got a row murderous list of killers down there. All the way down to fucking even John Casamera. They're all threats. Luis Pantera Nari, all of them dudes. Luis Pantera Nari's a knockout artist. Look at all the dudes at 126, from 126 and down, guys. Look at Espinoza. Look at Shushu. Look at all them dudes, man. Them dudes is fucking dangerous. You're not gonna get an easy fight.
speaking of the
Yeah,
lower. Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you're not gonna get an easy fight. And these guys keep knocking each other off. Man, I'm telling you, man. Even Emmanuel Rodriguez is a hell of a fighter. You know how many Japanese fighters down there in them low weight divisions that I see fight against other guys, and I go, yo, those dudes are amazing. Put him in the ring with Naoya Inoue. He backs those dudes up. He fought his way out of Japan to become Japan's best fighter. He had Japan's belt, the Oriental Pacific World title, the Japanese. Naoya Inoue took all those belts. You have to understand from Naoya Inoue, I think, third fight, he started winning like those low belts, like the Japanese, Oriental, Pacific. I think like in his fourth fight, he went into his title fight on his sixth professional fight, Naoya Inoue. So since his sixth professional fight, he has participated in 28 world title fights in a row. In a row throughout four weight divisions. Let that sink in. Throughout four weight divisions, he never got a break, meaning he didn't go up to a weight division and fight a lesser foe to get prepared for the champion. No, when he jumped in every weight division, all four of them, well, three, right? Because he had to start somewhere. He fought the champion right away, the world champion.
Fun truck, what up?
Yeah, man, he's dangerous. That dude is really dangerous. He proved he's him. What up, Fun Truck Man? How you doing?
Hey,
And
did you see Rene Chulo Santiago called out that
yes, I
Thailand
saw that. I saw that.
Thailand for the IBF. He's trying to unify again.
I saw that. I saw that. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. So, what'd you think? I mean, look, the Mexican kid, it looked like he might have been in a bit over his head. You know what
Well,
I'm
he went
saying?
in undefeated, 24 wins, I think 23
I
knockouts.
understand, but come on, bro,
It's
fun
it's
line.
different when you leave the Mexican bars.
No, no, listen, no, 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 no. He wasn't like okay. Look it. How about this? Is it fair for me to say this to the Mexican guys and everybody in the chat? Anybody that wants to answer this, I need to know right now. Yes or no, just straight up. You could text a Y or an N. No for an N, Y for an S. Very simple. But I want to know your thing. Was that Mexican kid with that 24-0 record as polished as uh, Emilio Vargas, El General, that has lesser fights?
Fuck no.
Okay then. Okay then.
Hell
And you're
no.
and you're not putting Emilio right now in with those champions. You're letting and he's a lot better than that kid.
Yeah, but you
So
gotta
so
also
so so
understand,
no no no
Edwin.
no no. So that
No,
goes to show you that listen, he
you
was in
gotta
over his
understand in
head.
those no, you gotta understand in those lower weight classes, it's hard to get fights. So you're gonna take those fights. It's not like you're not
Oh, I
fighting in the
know.
glamour
Yeah, yeah. I'm not
divisions.
talking. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about the situation or that he had to take the fight. You can't say no to a world title fight. I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm
My
talking
guy
about
Chang
skills
is in the building.
in the building chain. I'm talking about skills pay the bills, my man. You know what I'm saying? Just skills pay the bills, and that kid didn't have um the understanding that he needed to bend his knees more. He needed to not back away so straight up. Um, he wasn't on that. As far as the guy from Thailand, he knew he was gonna win this fight. He knew. He just had to get close to the kid. Um, he knew that the kid was gonna fall for his traps. And he did. He did. As soon as he softened the kid up a little bit, hit him with some shots, and he got the kid to like slow down a little bit and think before he shoots, and make sure that when he threw his jab, he threw it with speed and didn't get caught over the top throwing a lazy jab. The kid didn't know how to answer any of that. He was out of his league, bro. The Mexican kid was out of his league. He shouldn't have been in that fight. But I'm not. Listen, I'm not debating the situation or the money. You know, you know, for whatever reasons he took the fight. He took the fight, but I'm just calling the fight. That's my job. That's what I'm doing. I'm calling the fight. That kid was in over his head.
George
Yeah.
says fresh promotions getting a card together soon. I can't wait. Those guys need to be active. Chang says Neri will KO Casemiro. Can't wait.
Well,
Biz,
that fight got
Biz,
postponed, or I'm not sure if it's off the table completely, but I think that John Casamara and the Luis Pantera Nari fight is not a go.
Biz says, well, it could be Casemiro will KO Neri if he engages.
Yo, Casamaro, the one thing about Casamaro fight, man, those motherfucking fights are entertaining to say the least, right? He's always in like a WWE boxing match. He makes it exciting in the fact that you can get lost with his violence. The violence that John Casamaro brings to the ring, you can mistake that for actual boxing, the sweet science.
Biz just
Guys like
confirmed said
John
it will be out on
Casamaro,
May.
yeah, guys like John Casamaro, unfortunately, um, you see, there's other boxers, real skilled boxers like Japanese boxers, real fast guys, right? John Casamaro can knock out. Yeah. And they can look good. They can be throwing their punches real fast, and that can mislead you. It can mean like if John Casamaro can do that against this guy, and that guy looks just as equally as fast as Naoya Inoue, John Casamaro can beat Naoya Inoue, and that's where you would be mistaken. That would be your flaw right there for thinking that that guy's punch selection is on the level of Naoya Inoue, the when and the where. You mean to tell me that guy thinks and has the timing, the distance, the snap behind the punch? Like, no, there's nobody's that's doing that shit. So when John Casamara comes in with that wow shit, we saw it firsthand. Perfect example, Luis Pantera Nari. Luis Pantera Nari started chasing Naoya Inoue a little bit with that aggression when he knocked him down. He knew he had to get to the Japanese dude. He tried his best. He tried. No fault to his own. Look at Naoya Inoue's footwork. Slip, slip, slide, slide, pow, pow, down. And it was downhill from there. You're not, listen, I don't talk about this Japanese dude because he's just a regular boxer. Because he's just, no, he's in a 1% of boxers. He's in a 1%. Is he beatable? Yes. Anybody's beatable. Any night, bro, two guys were this close from beating that Japanese dude. This fucking close, man.
Wait till he gets to
Nari,
26.
like that close, bro. You gotta close the show, though. You gotta close the show.
Wait till
That's
Inoue gets to 26.
that's how dangerous he is.
Wait
That
till Inoue gets to
yo,
26.
yo. Let me tell before I answer Frontline's nonsense, right? Check this out, right? I can imagine, right? I've never been in a fight for a world for four belts and away in Japan, getting with all these crowd around me and everything on the line. I've never experienced anything like that. But if I had to describe it, right, it would be like you're up at bat, the ninth inning in the World Series. You got two strikes, three balls, and the
Bases
pitcher's got to
loaded.
pitch, and the pitcher's got to pitch to you.
Bases loaded. Two
Base
outs.
loaded, the game is tied,
Two outs.
and there's two outs. A walk, you win. An out, you lose. Right? Okay. The pitcher winds up, delivers the pitch, you hit it, and you hear that familiar sound. You got all of that. You see the ball go all the way up in the air, everybody jumping out of their seats. You walking down, the bat goes out of your hands start going in the air, and all of a sudden the guy jumps up and catches it.
Robbery.
That's what that shit must have felt like with Luis Pantera Nares and Romar Cardenas. They almost thought they hit that kind of home run. Brother, I can't tell you what that feels like, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Every fight I've ever been in my life, the second I hit the dude and he fell, when he got back up, my confidence was through the roof because I knew I could drop you. Tell me that ain't so. Tell me that ain't so. Once you hit that and you drop him, bro, that tumpan conmigo. This is my fight. This is me. And both of them end up getting knocked out and stopped. Both of them. Yo, they almost hit that home run, bro. That was crazy. It was even crazier to watch. But I gotta tell you, uh, that shit down there in the bantamweight division, all those dudes are warriors, bro. They're all fucking good. All of them. And that shit is not easy what that Japanese dude did. And the reason why you can also tell that this Japanese dude is really him, right? Just do your homework, your due diligence. If not, I'm here, Round One Sports Talk. I'll help you with that. I did it for you. In the in the history of boxing, there has never been an undisputed super bantamweight champion in the world. You know how 147, 135, there's been in history, there's Mike Tyson was undisputed as a heavyweight. Lennox Lewis was, Usyk was, there's in the heavyweight, there's been multiple men in every weight division in boxing, all but one division, super bantamweight. So in the entire history of boxing, here comes this 5'5" Japanese dude. He was the only guy to able to do it, and he did it in a 4-belt era. No one did it in a 3-belt era. No one did it. So if you're like doing shit in history in a sport that's been around for more than 100 years, professional boxing has been recognized as professional boxing for more than 100 years. And if you came along and did that, just like Terrence Crawford, when Terrence Crawford did that 4-belt shit in 2 separate weight divisions, he was the first man to ever do that in boxing history. The first. So when you're talking about Naoya Inoue, like you're trying to talk down about his opponents or no, do yourself a due diligence and don't sound a little foolish. Because you're talking about arguably one of the greatest men to ever lace it up. You do realize he won 8 belts in 1 year. Naoya Inoue, 8 belts in a calendar year. And you do know that he also tied Terrence Crawford for all 4. Come on, man. But you're talking bad about that guy. So who is your favorite fighter that's doing it better than that Japanese dude? Please, I need to know. Educate me. I need to know this guy.
Hey, Biz says that the fight is in May in Japan. Casemiro versus Neri.
It's on now?
I guess so. Mr. Itachi says
Nice,
Dylan.
nice. Yo, they worked out John Casamaro's visa. Is he where he needs to be? John Casamaro, I don't have anything on him, Biz. You're all I got right now on that fight. You're the first person that told me that fight is still a go right now from the last thing I heard. So please inform me because I want to see that fight. I don't want to miss that fight right there. That's going to be a banger. That's 2 guys coming forward. Both of them are big punchers. That John Casamara and Luis Pantera Nari. Luis Pantera Nari is a knockout artist. Okay, he's a relentless puncher, always coming forward, always in the fire, swinging big and strong. He's got a Mexican heart the size of a guy 6'4". Bro, he is a real warrior. Luis Pantera Nari, man. And if you want to see a fucking boxing match, go check out Luis Pantera Nari fight against John Casamera. If that fight right there is still a go, I love that fight right there because I think that that fight is going to be non-stop action. Uh, um, I don't see this for that kind of fight being a dud at all. And you know, with the history that John Casamera has had, you know, we all know about his health things and everything, and he's turning everything around. You know, he's like 1-1 if we're judging him off his last two fights type thing. But he did have a great performance in his last one out, I think. It's gonna be a great one. So please, Biz, you gotta let me know about that fight. And is it still a go? I noticed that it was still on the fights that are being reported, but that Mayweather shit is still up there for that date. And I guess they got through some particulars today, actually in the Mayweather fight. Frontline, you had some news. You were telling me about it. You might be more familiar with that. What was the last thing you heard about that Mayweather Manny Pacquiao situation?
So yeah, I'll pull it up right now. I'll tell you exactly what was said.
Hmm. And these are some of the top stories that we just keep following up on, just keeping, you know, our ears to the boxing streets. That was also a fight that was rumored to be canceled, but still on the list of fights that were supposed to be going on. There was another fight that was canceled too that I was talking to Frontline about. Oh yeah, Abdullah Mason's opponent, Abdullah Mason's fight.
Yep.
His opponent, and now they were looking for another guy, and that fight is still up, like if they were still fighting.
May
So I see.
19th too, we got unfinished business. Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright and
I like
Brian
that.
Norman Jr. versus oh shit, what's his name? Where's it at? I'll tell you right now who it is. May 19th. It's not. It's on Boxer. I'm not on Boxer right now. I'm on another
That's
location.
going to be a good card already because you're going to get the return of Brian Norman Jr. I'm eager to see how things are working out with his new coach. You know, we're going to see the remake, the Brian Norman Jr. 2.0, you know, and if the decision, you know, because all eyes are going to be on him when he made the decision to walk away from his father as his head coach and, you know, get better coaching.
That Mayweather Pacquiao is back on. It says Manny Pacquiao is moving again. The Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd is moving again. At this time, there's real progress behind the scenes. After weeks of confusion, a major obstacle has reportedly been removed from the contract. The controversial cancer contract clause, which had stalled negotiations, is now being taken out, clearing the way for talks to continue. It's the clearest sign yet that the long discussed rematch is back on track. So I guess they worked out the whole back and forth about being a real fight instead of a exhibition.
Mm. Read those final chats there.
Mr. Itachi says Dylan Capetillo is coming for everything. That's the kid that debuted from Golden Boy
Okay.
recently. He got first round knockout.
All right.
But he's nowhere near ready. He is nowhere near ready for any of the top dogs. So, Mr. Itachi, slow it down.
Right, 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 right,
Uh,
right.
Biz says, for me, I never seen Casemiro lose to a fighter who has a high guard like Pantera Neri, unless Neri will go backpedal. And oh no, he says all of those fighters who fought Cass with high guard got KO'd. Biz says Mayweather and Pacquiao's back on. They already agreed on a real fight, not exhibition. So yeah, then hold on, I'll pull it up for you real quick. The Keyshawn Davis is fighting Nahir Albright, and then Brian Norman Jr. is fighting Josh Wagner.
Josh Wagner. Okay.
That's who it is.
All right.
On that card, you already know you got the other two brothers, Keon Davis and Kelvin Davis,
Mm-hmm.
are on it. You also got a kid by the name of Derek Crocklum
Mm-hmm.
and the Dominican fighter that trains out of Monterrey Boxing Club in Puerto Rico, John Santana. He's fighting on that card.
Wow. Good, good, good. That we're gonna have to check out those cards and pull up some of these fighters and talk about some of these interesting fights. So, fight fans, apparently I gotta cut this video short right here. Being requested right now. Uh, I
Your
have to go.
services are needed.
My services are needed right now. You know what I'm saying? So I have to go. But fight fans, listen, we talked about a lot in boxing today. I've heard and read a lot of your chats, and these are the top boxing stories. And I would like to know what you think as we get closer to these fights. Did your mind sway? Are you still picking this guy? Did you see something in the fight? And most importantly, on weigh-in on fight night, we want to see what the fighters look like. I saw some footage today of Xander hitting some pad work, and I couldn't help but notice and say he's a big boy. But I also know that his coach is short, a little short. You know what I mean? So Xander does look big against him. But yeah, yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Big fights coming up. Alicia Bungard is defending her belts too. If you want to tune in and watch that fight and see that card, and the women go out there and bang it out for the world titles. Alicia Bungard looked amazing on stage. I happen to catch that too. So yeah, it's a lot of boxing. But so fight fans, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys have been the best. Frontline, my
Peace.
co-host, peace, Corillo, and I'm out.